Hello everyone. This presentation is a thematic study of Edwin Arlington Robinson's poem titled Richard Cory. A brief introduction to the writer. Arlington Robinson is one of the prolific American poets of the early 20th century. He was also the recipient of the first Pulitzer Prize ever awarded to poetry. One of his contemporaries, Amy Lowell, remarked that Edwin Arlington Robinson is poetry. I can think of no other living writer who has so consistently dedicated his life to his work. So, such was Robinson's passion for literature, especially poetry. Some of his favorite themes include personal failure, defeats, and also other artistic ventures. When many of Arlington Robinson's contemporaries wanted to experiment with the genre, he was much interested in retaining everyday speech in poetry, and he was very particular about adhering to the traditional forms. For a narrative poem titled Tristram, Robinson won the second Pulitzer award, and this poem is actually based on uh, Arthurian legends. He was very much interested in writing short poems which dramatized the everyday concerns of the people in a small New England village named Tilbury Town, where he was born. Robinson's poetry also focused upon the writer's personal defeats, challenges, and various other complexities which any individual would face in life. Like any other poet, Arlington Robinson was also interested. He had a vision for the form of a poem. So he always felt that a poetic form could be built on stanzas with skillful rhythmic rhyming patterns, and he also focused on the use of natural diction, and many of his poems dramatized the predicament of the human beings. And some of Arlington Robinson's famous poems are Richard Cory, Miniver Shivi, For a Dead Lady, Flamand, and Eros Tyrannus. Now to the poem. Let me read the poem, just the first two stanzas. There are only four stanzas. Let me read the first two stanzas. Richard Cory by Arlington Robinson. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from sole to crown, clean favored and imperially slim. And he was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still, he fluttered pulses when he said good morning, and he glittered when he walked. So, in the first stanza, the writer introduces the character named Richard Cory, how he is admired by the others in his small town. And look at the description. He was a gentleman from sole to crown, clean favored and imperially slim. This talks about his character. And he was neatly dressed. He did not choose gorgeous costumes. He looked very simple. And whenever he talked with people, he was always human. Something very remarkable about Richard Cory. And the people there in the town, very eagerly, they used to wait for Richard Cory to pass or to cross that area, and they were so happy when Richard Cory reciprocated the greetings, and he had a way of relating himself with people. So this is what we find in the first two stanzas. Now over to the last two. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king. So the writer talks about his uh, affluent background. He was rich and admirably schooled in every grace, well mannered. He comes from probably from an aristocratic background. In fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place. Almost all the inhabitants of the town, uh, they wanted to emulate Richard Cory. So on we worked and waited for the light and went without the meat and cursed the bread. And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head. So all the first three stanzas, they go smooth. There is uh, the flow of thought is very perfect, but when we come to the last two lines of the fourth stanza, that is the last stanza, I'm sure the readers will get a jolt, because why should this man, who had been enjoying all privileges in life, decided to kill himself? Why should, what forced him or what compelled him to uh, take this insensible decision? Why did he kill himself? Did he not enjoy the pleasure of wealth, other riches? Then what what could be the reason? What happened one calm summer night? He just went home and put a bullet through his head. Sounds very casual. It's like saying he went for shopping or he went to the theater. So, what could be the reason for Richard Cory's frustration in life? I'm sure we come across many people who go through this kind of a spiritual trauma or crisis in life. We face a lot of challenges and pressures from the external world, but all these could be sorted out. But if there is a spiritual emptiness within, it is the individual who should be sensible enough to take a proper decision. So I feel this Richard Cory represents every man, because in this so called technological world or digital era, we come across so many people like Richard Cory. It all depends on how we address our own problems and other crises in life. Richard Cory enjoyed almost all the privileges in life, but in spite of that, he took an insensible decision to kill himself. This comes like a shock to everyone. So, what could have prompted him? There are so many answers. We need to meditate upon the last two lines of the poem, because that is where we find a beautiful message conveyed by the writer. So, I am reminded of the crisis of Sisyphus. Sisyphus was able to accept the challenge. He was not bothered about, he did not bother about what he would achieve in the end, but then he had the inner strength or the courage to face the problem. That's why he decided to keep on rolling the big boulder up the hill, knowing fully well that it would fall down. So, the message that the writer wishes to convey here is, it is not the victory that matters. It all depends on how you get ready or how you prepare yourself to face the battle. Literature is actually a reflection of life. So, in that way, what is the beautiful message that is conveyed in the end of the poem? So, it is left to the decision and discretion of every individual. We enjoy so many things in life. We are blessed by God in so many ways, but still we do feel some kind of emptiness within. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to tackle this issue? There are so many ways. So, it all depends on how we get ready to face the crisis. I think this is the wonderful message that Edwin Arlington Robinson wishes to convey his